Hey there YouTube, Creepy Rank here. I'm back. Last week some stuff came up that made me not really have the ability to make some videos. Got really busy along with the whole 4th of July thing that was going on. I had to help my parents set up that and everything. But I'm back for you guys and I'm going to be bringing you a new lightsworn deck. I know I've done a couple of these already on my channel, but this is a new variant for what's coming out, I think, in the set that's new challengers or what's ever coming out in the one after that. Whichever was coming out with the lightsworn support. And I made a deck for it. It's very patchy right now, the deck. I have a lot to do on it, but it's Monday and I make a video. I'm supposed to make a video every other day, so I'm starting my cycle over again. So the deck needs a lot of work again, but this is what I have so far as a rough draft of it. I keep tweaking it every once in a while to try and get it a lot faster, stronger, and to be able to deal with a lot of the meta. So far, I've beat Cleese with it and Satellar. I've tested it a whole bunch, but it still needs a whole bunch of work. So let's just jump right in this deck profile. I obviously can't build it, that's why I'm doing it on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. So let's just jump right in. Obviously, it's a lightsworn deck. You have to run 3 JD, and with the new support, you have to run 3 JD. So it's the boss monster of the deck, has a ridiculous effect, and then it mills for end phase, and it's a 3000 beat stick if you don't use the effect otherwise. But why wouldn't you if you're able to pop the field and just attack a clear board? Next up, you got 3 Raiden. This deck is more of a rank 4 spammy because the new support card, what's the name? Minerva Saint, Light Lord Saint Minerva, or Minerva Lightsworn Saint. She's a rank 4 and her effect is actually kind of ridiculous. I'll read that for you guys afterwards, but let's go right back into the deck itself, the main deck. Raiden, Hand of Lightsworn. Well, he can just mill 2 main phase, and that goes really, really well with the new trap card. And then he mills 2 during the end phase as well. So his effect is really good in the fact that you can do it during your main phase, so you can set up more plays. And he's a tuner, so it's ridiculous what the plays that you can get off with him. 2 Lumina, I brought that down because, again, this is a more rank 4 spam deck. While her effect is really good, and you can still have access to your synchro plays, which are down here. This deck, I built it more towards Xyz and stuff like that, so that you can utilize a whole bunch of stuff that's coming out, and this is the build that I'm trying to make work, because I know it can work, I just need to tweak it more and more and more. So, on to Lila, I run 3 of that, because she's 4, and her effect is ridiculous, to go alongside Goblin Bird, because when she's summoned, you can bring her out in attack position, switch her defense, get rid of that pesky back row that you don't want to be there when you're going into your rank 4 play. And then go overlay and then attack or whatever, use Minerva's effect, because that's the one that you're mainly going to go for. And then next up, you got your Wolf. Run 1 Wolf. I had to take it down to 1 because you needed room for a whole bunch of other stuff. 1 Felice because her effect is too good not to run her. And also she's a tuner, so why not? So you can have access to your synchro plays, and she's still level 4, so you can do a whole bunch of stuff with her. Erin, she's level 4, and her effect is really decent. And then 2 Necrogardna, because you need these Necrogardnas, because you're going to still be milling in this deck. Maybe not as much as you were beforehand, but to be able to negate an attack so you can survive a little longer with this build, because you kind of need it, because it's still a little slow. I have to work on it a bunch. But to have 2 Necrogardna to stop attacks is very, very good. So the deck itself, I'm coining the name Nightlights. I've been doing that for a while now. I wanted to build a new Lightsworn deck, and I saw that Ignites were kind of broken. So this deck is called Nightlights because you run the Ignite engine in it, and being able to spam for Ignites is ridiculous. Because Ignites, activate their effect. If you have another Ignite in your hand, search up for another Ignite, get it to your hand. Go for all your Ignites or whatever that are in the, I don't know what to call it, the Pendulum Grave or whatever, and then get those out and then go straight for Minerva, activate her effect, mill. It's ridiculous. And I don't like the fact, I like the fact that they had to change the text on the Judgment of the Lightsworn. It used to be able to put itself back on the top deck when it was sent from the deck to the graveyard, but you can't do that now. So I guess they had to nerf it because the effect would be too ridiculous, 2 JDs per turn. And they did change her effect that she could mill during the end phase. But, whatever. Two Curry Bandit, because you can get into these guys a little easier, or any of your spell and trap cards that would be milled otherwise. I don't want to be running too many level 3s because, again, rank 4 spam. Not really spam, but rank 4 oriented deck more than synchro. So you don't want to be running so many level 3s. Curry Bandit's effect is too good for this deck not to run it. Again, 3 Goblinberg and 3 Kagito Kage for that level 4 ability to get out more on the field. So you can go for, again, your rank 4s. And then 1 Charge of the Light Brigade. I know it's at 2. I just couldn't fit it in the deck. That's why Solar Recharge is down to 2, which is ridiculous. And Reinforcement Army is at 2 because a lot of the stuff in here is Warrior. So if you have Goblinberg and you don't have anything else to spam for with him, and you have a Rhoda, go for, I don't know, a Lila or a Raiden you'll usually go for. So that either you can clear back row or you can mill 2. And then hopefully get your Judgment of Lightsworn. And then 2 Breakthrough because it's not dead on the field. Well, it's not dead in the grave, and its effect is, good for this format. And then 3 Judgment of the Lightsworn because you want to mill any of these. It's ridiculous. One time I was playing, and I milled all 3 of them using Minerva's effect and got 3 JDs and had all my Lightsworns. Went for my Lightsworn, activated their effect. I went for a JD, blew up the board, and then went for the other 2 and just the guy surrendered. So onto the extra deck. The extra deck has 2 Minervas. I feel like 3 is a little too much. 2 is just enough because you're not going to be going for her so much in this deck just yet. That's why I only have 2 in there right now. I'm still tweaking it again. So her effect is really, really good. 2 level 4, so she's generic in this deck, so you don't need like warriors or whatever. If you really want to, you can throw her in other decks. She has a pretty decent attack. She's at 2,800 defense, so you're obviously going to be throwing her in attack. And I love that this is a big upgrade for the original Minerva. You don't see her in this deck because I didn't really think it was necessary. She's level 3, and her effect is kind of pointless because you have a trap card now that can do her job twice as better. But anyway, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, then draw 1 card for each lightsworn card sent to the graveyard by this effect. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card is in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Then you can destroy cards on the field up to the number of Lightsworn cards sent to the graveyard by this effect. You can only use the effect of Minerva Lightsworn Saint once per turn. That's a really good effect. The fact that you can mill when it's destroyed by an opponent's effect, and then if it's like, even if it's Charge of, I don't think it works with Charge of Labor. I don't remember, but anything Lightsworn pretty much. Anything Lightsworn pretty much, pop something up to that amount, which is just pretty stupid in the fact that how good it is with the ability to spam for this deck that I want it to do. It can still spam pretty well, but it still needs a lot of work, and the deck is coming along, and it's, for me, I've been playing the Synchro build for Lightsworn for a really long time. Again, I was playing the pure build of Lightsworn, so the fact that I need to be able to switch gears from Synchro all the way to Xyz and figure out a way to make it do that in the way I want it to is a little weird for me in this deck, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. So on to the next monster. I think I keep rambling on like an idiot, but anyway, number 101 Silent Honor Arc. This card's too good. Why not? Everybody knows it is. Whatever this guy's name is, number 86. You can go for him in this deck, and why not run him if you can? I don't like that he's not generic, but his effects are too ridiculous anyway. What are you gonna do? Anyway, 1 Castell, because Castell. 1 Exciton, because Exciton. Daguster Emerald, you want to be able to just put some monsters back in the deck if you need to. This is just to place stuff on the top deck that you need for later. This is just the mill 5 if you have these 2. I think I'm going to change that up because you don't have the 2 wolf. And this guy is because he can turn into a giant beat stick. And then Michael's because you can still make the level 7 plays with this deck, and his effect is really good, so why not run 2 of him. 1 Stardust because you want to be able to keep stuff on board like Minerva. Scrap Dragon because Scrap Dragon's really good, and 1 black rose, so that if you can have the ability to still go for the JD while having to spend the 1,000. So pop the board black rose, go for your JDs or JD if you only have one, and just attack for 3,000. So you don't have to pay anything is actually really, really good. So why not do that? So that's the deck profile, guys. Let me just do a quick little example. You can't really see it because I'm not going to be doing it in the what's it called? The AI mode or whatever, or online, because I'm not going to be doing a duel in this video. I might do it later in another video. Maybe I'll do that Wednesday. But how the deck is supposed to work is, say your opponent has a trap on the field, and you have Goblinberg, you have Lila, and you have, what's it? All this, whatever. You have those 2 cards. You go for Goblinberg, go for Lila in attack position. Lila to defense, you destroy that back row, overlay for your Minerva, activate Minerva's effect, mill the 3, and then you get to draw 1, right? Yeah, you get to draw 1. So mill the 3, maybe you get a Judgment of the Lightsworn. I can't tell you how many times that happened to me. So I get that, I get JD, and then I just set up for later pretty much. I get the draw off, and I get a whole bunch of stuff that I need. And then the deck is just supposed to be, you really want to get Minerva off first turn, because if you can get JD and you already have all your stuff engraved because she mills 3 at a time, that's really good. And, you know, being able to just spam for your JDs now, because beforehand this deck was really, really, what's it? Chance-based more. Because you had to mill and wait for him, and then if you got him in the grave, you're kind of screwed. Again, still, if you mill the JD, you're kind of screwed. But, and again, you don't run the monster reincarnations in this version. But, you have the ability to just make this deck a little bit more consistent, because you're just searching out for your JDs. And you're milling with the Minerva 3 times. So, you have a higher chance of getting into your JDs, because you can just mill off 3 of your lightsworn monsters that turn, and then next turn, you know, activate her effect. Oh, there goes a Judgment of the Lightsworn, free JD, and then you keep milling, and then there you go. You have all 4. Half the time you'll do that, and then JD the field or whatever, and it's ridiculous. So, when I do get this deck working properly, I'll probably do another deck profile on it, and then do some duel videos. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button as hard as you can, and subscribe to my channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Gaming videos, and go check out Yu-Gi-Oh's channel. I don't think he's posted in a while. We're in the same boat. We had a lot of stuff going on, so we couldn't really get anything done. But anyway, again, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and subscribe or whatever, do whatever you want. I'm a little out of it because I'm getting back into doing YouTube again. So, I'm going to sign off now. So, later.